Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Sergey. We had a lesson on the simple past tense yesterday, and today we will have a few more activities. Let's refresh our memories with simple past tense. Here are the forms of the simple past tense with the regular verbs, a statement, an affirmative statement form, a negative statement, a question, and some short answers here. We say, I worked yesterday. That's an affirmative sentence. I didn't work yesterday. That's a negative one. Question form starts with did. Did I work yesterday? And the short answers are yes, I did, or no, I didn't. So once again, this tense is used to talk about the past activities or situations that began and ended in the past. So it's a completed action. We use time expressions to specify when something happened. For example, we say something like yesterday, last night, 2 days ago, or we specify a year in 2010. So Mary walked downtown yesterday. Walked is the verb in the past tense. It has ed. Yesterday is a time, specific time. I slept for 8 hours last night. So once again, we have a verb in the past here, slept. And last night is a time expression that tells you when this happened. Okay, so most simple tense, simple past verbs are formed by adding ed to a verb. Okay, if they're regular verbs, then we see an ed. If there is an irregular verb, then you have to memorize all of the past forms because they're all different. For example, we have here two examples, E and F. I ate breakfast this morning, so ate is the past form of the verb eat. And F, Sue took a taxi to the airport yesterday. So took is the past form of the verb take. The verb to be has two forms in the past, was and were. Was is for singular subjects and were is for plural subjects. So that's what we talked about yesterday. Okay, let's have an activity that has to do with your personal experience. I wanted to ask somebody in your family to read these questions for you, and I want you to answer them using the simple past tense. Okay, so please pause the video and take your time and go ahead and answer these questions. All right. So our next activity has to do with the past tense of the verb to be. A verb to be has two forms, was and were in the past. If it's an affirmative sentence, we use was or were. If it's a negative one, we use wasn't or weren't. Okay. So number one says, life wasn't easy for the first settlers. Wasn't is a negative form of the verb to be. Life is a singular noun, so that's why we use was or wasn't in this case. So you need to fill in the blanks with either was, wasn't, were, or weren't. Okay, all these sentences have to do with the colonial life in America. So please look at the sentences, take a piece of paper or open your notebook and write complete sentences. Okay, pause the video and do this in writing. Okay, our next activity is for writing as well. We will use the information on this slide to talk about life today and life in 1790 in the 18th century. So, for example, number one, it says the president today is Donald Trump. So you need to write a sentence about 1790. Who was the president in 1790? George Washington was the president in 1790. Please pause the video and write complete sentences about 1790 in your notebooks. Okay, don't forget to use the verbs in the past tense. All right, I hope you have the correct answers. These are the answers. Once again, number one is George Washington was the president in 1790. The verb to be here is in the form was. It's a singular form, was. Number two, the president earned $25,000 a year in 1790. Number three, the capital was New York City in 1790. Number four, there were 13 states in 1790. 5. The largest state was New York in 1790. 6. The largest city was New York City in 1790. 7. The population was about 4 million in 1790. Okay, I hope you have the correct answers. Okay, let's go back, okay, and read this together. I'm going to read sentences one by one. Please repeat after me, okay? Ready? 1. The president is Donald Trump today. George Washington was the president in 1790. Two, the president earns $400,000 a year. The president earned $25,000 a year in 1790. Three, the capital is Washington, D.C. today. New York City was the capital in 1790. 4. There are 50 states today. There were 13 states in 1790. 5. The largest state is Alaska today. The largest state was New York in 1790. Six. The largest city is New York City today. The largest city was New York City in 1790. 7. The population is about 305 million today. The population was 4 million in 1790. All right. So most of the verbs we have here in the past verb to be form. So we have was in number 1, was in number 3, were in number 4. It's were because we're talking about 13 states. It's a plural noun. States is plural. That's why we say were. There were 13 states. Okay, and then number 5, 6, and 7 also have verb was. Okay. All right. We have this beautiful picture. This is a picture that shows us colonial life. there are some things that are not right, that are not correct. I would like you to try to find the 16 things wrong with this picture and write sentences about that in your notebooks. Okay, so for example, look at this boy. He is playing in the backyard with the toy truck. Okay, so in the 18th century, there were no toy trucks for kids, so they didn't play with the toy trucks. So one of the sentences you might want to write is like this: children didn't play with toy trucks. Children didn't play with toy trucks. So go ahead, look at the picture, and write as many sentences as you can describing some things that are wrong. So there should be 16 things in total. Try to find as many as you can. I'll give you a few minutes. Please pause the video, stop the video, and write. All right, and here are some answers. I hope you were able to find at least some of those, identify some of those mistakes. So number one was children didn't play with toy trucks. Okay. Number two, houses didn't have air conditioners. 3, they didn't have electricity. 4, they didn't have helicopters in the 18th century. 5, farmers didn't ride tractors. 6, they didn't have grills. 7, they didn't have traffic lights. 8, they didn't drive on paved roads. 9, houses didn't have doorbells. 10, cars didn't have rubber tires. 11, teenagers didn't have music players. 12, girls didn't wear short skirts. 13, men didn't smoke cigarettes. 14, teenagers didn't wear sneakers. 15, they didn't eat hamburgers. 16, they didn't have TVs. So, because we were describing things that were wrong, we use the negative form. So all of these statements have didn't, right? So didn't play, didn't have, didn't ride, didn't drive, didn't wear, didn't smoke, didn't eat. Okay, so once again, notice when you use didn't, you must use a verb, an action verb in the base form. There's no ed, so it is in the base form. Okay, so this is it for today. Thank you for watching and participating. Please stay tuned and check your inbox and messages. I will be sending you more links and activities to practice English at home. Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.